picture this. You're walking to your call, balancing a coffee in one hand.
A dangerous game right from the start.
Right. Coffee in one hand, your keys in the other. And out of nowhere, your brain just serves up the missing piece to a project you've been stuck on for, a month.
Yes, the classic shower thought, but in the parking lot.
Exactly. It is this moment of just pure clarity. So you do the natural thing. You juggle your coffee, pull out your phone, open your daily productivity app to log the thought before it evaporates, and, well, nothing.
Yeah, the white screen of death.
Yes, the screen just freezes on a blank page, a little gray sync wheel appears, and it spins and spins. By the time the cursor finally blinks, the nuance of your brilliant idea it's completely gone.
It's just gone. Yeah, that is a remarkably specific and honestly an incredibly common modern tragedy.
It really is.
We treat these digital tools as an external hard drive for our actual brains, We expect them to process thoughts at the exact speed of our own synapses. And when the tool hesitates, the thought just dies.
Well, welcome to the deep dive. Today we are taking on that exact friction. For anyone out there who feels like they spend, way more time managing their productivity apps than actually doing their work, we are building a way out.
We really are.
We're exploring the underlying mechanics of two absolute heavyweights in the knowledge management space right now, Notion and Workflowy.
And just to be clear, we aren't doing a standard feature comparison here. That's not the mission.
Right, no boring spec sheets today.
Exactly. Our goal is to dissect the structural strengths and the very real architectural flaws of both platforms. Because by the end of our time today, we will lay out what we're calling the hybrid mastery blueprint.
Which sounds intense, but it's brilliant.
It is. It's a specific, actionable method to wire these two completely different philosophies together into one unstoppable system.
And to build this blueprint for you, we are pulling from a really diverse stack of sources today. We've got the official software patch notes from early 2026, some raw and highly critical Reddit threads from everyday users.
Those get pretty spicy.
Oh, they are brutal. We also have deep dive YouTube tutorials from system architects and some fairly dense API integration guides. We are going to translate all of it so you don't have to.
Sounds good.
So let's start right at the source of that modern tragedy you just mentioned, the friction. Why does an app that costs a company millions of dollars to develop suddenly freeze when you just want to type a sentence?
The irony there is that the friction comes directly from their ambition. As apps evolve from simple note takers into entire operating systems for businesses, they inherently become heavier.
Which makes sense. More features, more code.
Right. And Notion is the prime example of this right now. Our sources, particularly those Reddit threads you mentioned following Notion's recent July update, they highlight a staggering drop in performance.
Especially on their Android app, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Specifically the Android application.
Yeah, reading through those forums, I gotta say, it feels less like a tech discussion and more like a support group for betrayed writers. People are genuinely distraught.
They're watching their data actively vanish. Users describe opening the app on a high-speed, stable connection only to watch that sync indicator spin endlessly. But the lag is secondary to the real thing.
Oh, disappearing text flow.
Yes. Imagine typing out a critical thought during a fast-paced meeting. You hit enter to start a new paragraph, and you watch the sentence you just wrote instantly delete itself from the screen.
I would literally throw my phone out a window. It fundamentally breaks the trust you have in the system. And reading the sources, people aren't just complaining about this, they're actively fleeing the app.
Oh yeah, we are seeing users hunt down older APK files.
Which, those are the raw installation packages for Android apps, right?
Right, exactly. They are manually uninstalling the current version of Notion and sideloading version 0.6.525.
Wow, going way back.
Just because that was the last stable release before the July update.
Yeah.
They're doing this just to stop their notes from evaporating.
Sure.
Other power users are abandoning the cloud entirely. They're migrating their vaults over to local markdown apps like Obsidian or Joplin,
where the text files live physically on their own hard drives.
Right, safe and sound on their local machines.
Now, this level of instability doesn't just happen in a vacuum. A YouTube creator we looked at, Dimitri Panici, he tracks this back to how Notion actually handles its product roadmap. He outlines this exhausting pattern of what he calls a half-baked update cycle.
Yeah, Dimitri really points out those massive quarterly feature drops. Notion will roll out something massive, like Q3 automations or the big Q4 Q&A artificial intelligence features.
Which are huge additions.
Exactly. These aren't minor tweaks. They're foundational changes to the code. Whenever whenever these major drops go live, the entire user base experiences massive 2-week-long lag spikes.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it's not just a bad server connection. Notion is fundamentally a relational database. So when you open a page, the software isn't just loading the words you see.
Oh no, it's doing so much more under the hood.
Right. It is simultaneously running queries across dozens of hidden tables, checking for roll-ups, syncing linked databases, and rendering custom views. It's doing heavy computational lifting just to show you a blank page.
And that architectural burden is the core issue here. Every time they push a massive update, they're adding another layer of complex queries to a system that already has to think incredibly hard just to load your daily to-do list.
It's like buying a 6-figure luxury sports car, but every time the manufacturer pushes a wireless update to the radio, the engine stalls for 2 weeks.
That's a great way to put it.
The leather seats are beautiful, the dashboard is gorgeous, but if the car won't start when you need to get to work, the luxury is worthless.
Exactly. When a tool you trust starts eating your sentences and stalling your workflow, you stop caring about custom fonts and database rollups.
You just want a piece of paper that won't catch fire.
Yes. You look for the lightest, fastest thing in existence. And in our research, that behavioral shift, that pure desperation for speed, is exactly what drives power users straight into the arms of Workflowy.
Which is such a fascinating contrast. If Notion is this massive, interconnected control room with 100 flashing buttons, Workflowy is literally a single blank piece of paper. It is a minimalist, infinitely zoomable bullet list.
That's all it is.
No folders, no separate documents, no databases, just bullet points living inside of other bullet points forever.
And because it is rendering pure, unformatted text strings, rather than querying a massive relational database,
Right.
the speed is virtually instantaneous. You can click on any sub-bullet, and it instantly zooms in to become the top of your screen.
Which is great for focus.
It really is. It temporarily hides all the noise and clutter of the rest of your life.
I see the appeal of the speed, absolutely. So what does this all mean? If Workflowy is literally just an endless sea of text, it seems like it would inevitably degrade into a massive, chaotic digital junk drawer. I mean, how do you find a specific thought from 6 months ago when you have 50,000 identical-looking bullets?
And that is the exact wall that every new user hits.
Yeah.
It feels too simple to be useful at scale.
Right.
But the YouTube tutorials in our source stack reveal 2 hidden foundational mechanics that turn that infinite list into a highly structured web: backlinks and mirrors.
Okay, let's break those down, starting with backlinks. You trigger these by typing 2 open brackets, the classic bracket syntax.
Yeah. When you type those brackets, you create a two-way street between pieces of text. The tutorials show power users leveraging this to build a personal CRM, essentially a relationship manager.
Oh, that's smart.
So say you have a weekly one-on-one with a manager named Sarah. In your daily chaotic scratch pad, you just type bracket Sarah and jot down your notes from the day.
And because of the backlink, you don't have to worry about where that note actually lives. 3 months later, you can just click on the word Sarah, and Workflowy automatically filters your entire 50,000 bullet universe.
Instantly.
It shows you a chronological timeline of every single time you've ever mentioned her name or linked a task to her. It synthesizes a messy scratch pad into a clean dossier.
It creates structure through connection rather than through folders. But the second feature, mirrors, is where Workflowy truly evolves from a simple notepad into a dynamic productivity engine.
Mirrors. You trigger a mirror by typing 2 open parentheses, right?
Yes.
Wait, let me make sure I'm translating this right for the listener. A mirror isn't just a copy and paste function. If you mirror a bullet, you are creating a live clone.
A live clone, yes.
So if I have a master grocery list buried deep in my home section and I mirror it into my Tuesday agenda, those 2 lists share the exact same heartbeat. If I check off milk on my agenda while I'm at the store, it magically crosses itself out on the master list sitting on my desktop at home.
You got it perfectly. The data exists in multiple places simultaneously, but it's only one entity. The sources show system architects using this cloning feature to build full Kanban boards out of simple text.
Wait, really? Just with bullets?
Yeah. You might have separate lists for new leads, active clients, and archive projects living in different parts of your workspace. You can mirror all 3 into a single dashboard view. Drag a client's name from new leads over to active, and the underlying master data updates instantly.
Wow. You can also use it for templates I saw in the sources.
Yep.
You mirror a complex meeting agenda and then use the detach function. It breaks the mirror connection integration, leaving you with a fresh standalone copy of the agenda to fill out without altering your master template.
Exactly. And because the entire platform is optimized for this lightweight text manipulation, the speed of getting data into the app is unmatched. The sources highlight incredibly fast quick capture methods. On a desktop, you can just hit Alt+N or use keyboard launchers like Raycast on a Mac.
Flow Launcher on Windows.
Right, you instantly type a thought into your Workflowy inbox without ever actually opening the application window.
The mobile capture is even wilder to me. Users are taking Workflowy's API key, which is basically a secret passcode that lets other apps talk to your Workflowy account, and plugging it into Apple shortcuts.
Oh, the Siri integration.
Yeah, they are literally dictating voice memos to Siri while driving, and the text is instantly appearing as a new bullet point in their digital inbox.
Plus, the official 2026.03 patch notes also introduced an email to node feature. You can forward an important email directly to a specific bullet point in your workspace.
Though, reading the fine print on those patch notes, there is a funny little bug with that email.
Yes, the formatting glitch.
Right. Sometimes the HTML meta viewport text randomly shows up in the bullet. For context, meta viewport is just a tiny invisible snippet of code that tells a web browser how to scale a page for a mobile screen. Workflowy is accidentally reading it as visible text.
Yeah.
But even with a minor formatting glitch, the sheer lack of friction is incredible.
It is the ultimate tool for capturing the raw speed of human thought. But, and this is a big but as the YouTube channel Savage Reviews thoroughly documents in our sources, there is a hard, unavoidable limit to pure text.
Yeah, the visual wall.
Exactly. The moment your project requires rich media, like embedding a high-resolution image, managing a visual calendar with recurring due dates, or attaching large PDF files, Workflowy, it's a dead end. It is designed for thought, not for file storage.
Which means we can't escape the heavy machinery. To get visual structure, proper media hosting, and real calendar views, we have to return to Notion.
We do, because Notion's greatest weakness, its complex relational database architecture, is also its greatest superpower, provided you use it correctly.
The trick seems to be stopping treating Notion like a place to take quick notes and treating it like a command center. When you type /database in Notion, you aren't just making a spreadsheet.
No, not at all.
The power users in our sources, they build customized dashboards by linking multiple existing databases into one view. They delete the default layouts and build a screen where they can see a content calendar, project milestones, and an active task board side by side, all pulling from entirely different data sources.
It acts as an aggregator. The source material goes deep on Notion's integration with a service called iframely, which handles their web embeds. Because of iframely, Notion supports embedding live content from over 1,900 different domains.
That is massive.
You can have a live, editable Miro whiteboard sitting directly next to a playable Vimeo video and a Google Drive folder, all inside one Notion page.
The enterprise integrations are particularly wild. We looked at a tool called Fathom AI. It's a meeting assistant that automatically joins your Zoom calls, records the video, transcribes the audio in real time, and then drops a fully searchable, time-stamped summary directly into your Notion workspace.
It essentially turns Notion into a high-level corporate memory bank.
It is an incredibly powerful hub. But hold on, if Notion has the engineering power to integrate with 1,900 domains and process live AI video transcription, why are everyday users so angry about the basics?
The missing features.
Right. Going back to the Dimitri Panici video, he points out a glaring omission: a simple, native, two-way Google Calendar sync. It was announced in March of 2022. We're deep into 2026, and it still does not natively exist. How does a company with billions in funding drop the ball on syncing a calendar?
Well, the analysis of their development roadmap points to a deliberate strategic pivot in resource allocation. Notion is no longer primarily concerned with the solo freelancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They are dedicating their engineering bandwidth to massive enterprise-level AI connectors. They're building deep integrations with Salesforce and Slack AI to secure multi-million-dollar contracts with Fortune 500 companies.
Okay, so they're building software for the boardroom, not for you, the individual trying to organize your grocery list and weekly meetings.
Exactly what we saw with the heavy, laggy updates. They're prioritizing enterprise scale over polishing basic consumer quality-of-life features.
So we have a massive dilemma here. Workflowy is lightning fast and captures your thoughts perfectly, but it lacks the structure to actually manage your complex processes. Notion has incredible database-driven structure, but it is too slow, too heavy, and too risky for rapid daily thought capture.
But the answer isn't choosing between them.
No.
No, the answer is building a bridge. We are talking about the hybrid mastery blueprint. The core philosophy here is assigning strict, non-overlapping roles to each application.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Think about it in terms of computer architecture. Workflowy is your brain's short-term RAM. RAM is lightning fast, it handles whatever process is happening right now, and when you're done, it clears out effortlessly. Notion is your hard drive.
I love that analogy.
It's heavy, it spins up slower, but it is highly structured, and it's where things are permanently filed away for the long haul.
Assigning those roles requires Workflowy to act as your capture funnel for all rapid thought logging, outlining, and daily to-dos. Notion acts as your database hub for permanent project management, your knowledge base, and rich media storage.
Makes sense.
And the systems architect guide in our sources provides 3 distinct levels for actually wiring the RAM to the hard drive. Level 1 is the simplest, native embeds.
Right, taking advantage of Notion's ability to embed anything. You simply take the public, shared URL of a specific Workflowy outline and paste it into a Notion embed block. It generates a live window.
Very straightforward.
You can scroll through your Workflowy bullet points right inside your massive Notion project page. It gives you visual context, but it doesn't actually move the data automatically.
Right, for true automation, we move to level 2, which uses third-party connectors like Zapier. Zapier acts as an invisible assistant working in the background.
Doing the manual labor for you.
Exactly. You can set up a rule so that the moment you add a new client to your Notion database, Zapier automatically fires a command to Workflowy, generating a fresh, dedicated bullet point in your inbox, ready for your daily notes.
And for the people who want to engineer a truly bespoke system, there is level 3, advanced routing. Our sources detail using platforms like Make.com, which offers a visual scenario builder for conditional logic, or N8N, which is an open-source automation tool.
With N8N, you can utilize what are called HTTP request nodes.
Okay, let's translate that. An HTTP request node is essentially a little digital messenger. It carries an envelope of data from one app store, knocks on another app store, hands over the envelope, and tells the app exactly which drawer to put it in.
Yes, and what that actually looks like in practice is incredible. Say you are walking down the street, you dictate a brilliant idea into Workflowy on your phone, and you add the tag urgent, right, with a hashtag.
Okay.
You don't do anything else. In the background, that N8A messenger sees the urgent tag, grabs the text, knocks on Notion's door, and automatically assigns it to the high priority column of your project management board. By the time you sit down at your desk and open your laptop, the thought has already filed and organized itself.
That is the absolute holy grail. But, and this is important, to make this hybrid system survive, it requires genuine discipline from you. You have to separate the act of thinking from the act of filing. During your workday, you live entirely in Workflowy. You capture everything instantly, no friction, no spinning wheels.
Then, you schedule a non-negotiable weekly review. You sit down at your desktop, process your raw Workflowy inbox, and export the structured data. The sources recommend exporting in Markdown.
Which is just a universal way of formatting text with simple symbols so any app can read it.
Right, and then officially logging the major updates into your Notion databases. You clear the RAM, and you write to the hard drive.
So to map the journey we've taken today, we started with the infuriating, buggy friction of Notion's heavy database. We escaped into the minimalist, mirrored, high-speed world of Workflowy's infinite lists. And finally, we learned how to architect a bridge between the two, using automated digital messengers to route our fast thoughts into permanent storage.
We've built a bridge across the cloud. But looking at the trajectory of these tools, there's a broader movement happening that might render this entire conversation obsolete.
Wait, really? How so?
Both Notion and Workflowy rely heavily on centralized corporate servers to sync your data. That's where the lag comes from. But there's a massive surge right now in local-first software. Plus, both platforms are rapidly expanding their APIs, like Workflowy's new rudimentary API beta list all endpoints.
Meaning apps where the data lives physically on the silicon of your own phone or laptop first, and only syncs to the cloud in the background when it's convenient?
Precisely. It makes the software fundamentally immune to server lag. If your data is local, a spinning sync wheel is physically impossible. It raises a major question for the future. In a world of AI and open APIs, is the era of searching for the perfect productivity app over?
Oh, that's a fascinating thought. Are we enduring the growing pains of a cloud-based system that is already on its way out? Are we entering an age where the only way to be truly productive is to become your own NotebookLM developer, stitching together invisible, bespoke systems that think exactly the way you do. The perfect productivity app might not be an app at all, it might just be owning your own data again.
It's definitely where things seem to be heading.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. I highly encourage you to take an hour this week to experiment with building your own automation bridge between your favorite tools. Because the next time that $1 million idea hits you while you're walking to your car, you deserve a system that catches the lightning instead of just spinning a wheel. Catch you next time.